This morning we will read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Service, Text 27. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Naruttanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jyamudiyayat Nastveya Savatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttamasake Bhakti Bhakti Naistiki. So, text 27. Rajastama Prakitaya Samasila Bhajanti Vai Pitribhuta Prajasadin Shriyasvaya Prajapsava. But for what translation? Raja, the mode of passion. Dhamma, the mode of ignorance. Prakritaya, of that mentality. Samasila, of the same categories. Bhajanti, do worship. Vai, actually. Pitri, the forefathers. Buddha, other living beings. Prajasadin, controllers of cosmic administration. Shriya, enrichment. Aishvarya, wealth and power. Praja, progeny. Ipsava, so desiring. Translation and purport by Abhayacharya Vinga Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance worship the forefathers, other living entities, and the demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities. For they are urged by a desire to be materially benefited with women, wealth, power, and progeny. There is no need to worship demigods or whatsoever category if one is serious about going back to Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.20.23, it is clearly said that those who are mad after material enjoyment approach the different demigods for temporary benefits, which are meant for man with a poor fund of knowledge. We should never desire to increase the depth of material enjoyment. Material enjoyment should be accepted only up to the point of the bare necessities of life, and not more or less than that. To accept more material enjoyment means to bind oneself more and more to the miseries of material existence. More wealth, more women, and false aristocracy are some of the demands of the materially disposed man, because he has no information of the benefit derived from Vishnu worship. By Vishnu worship, one can derive benefit in this life as well as in the life after death. Forgetting these principles, foolish people who are after more wealth, more wives, and more children worship various demigods. The aim of life is to end the miseries of life and not to increase them. For material enjoyment, there is no need to approach the demigods. The demigods are but servants of the Lord. As such, they are duty-bound to supply necessities of life in the form of water, light, air, etc. One should work hard and worship the Supreme Lord by the fruits of one's hard labor for existence, and that should be the motto of life. One should be careful to execute occupational service with faith in God in the proper way, and that will lead one, sadly, on a progressive march back to Godhead. Lord Sri Krishna, when he was personally present at Vrajadam, stopped the worship of the demigod Indra and advised the residents of Vraj to worship by their business and to have faith in God. Worshipping the multi-demigods for material gain is practically a perversity of religion. This sort of religious activity had been condemned in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam as Kaitava Dharma. There is only one religion in the world to be followed by one and all, and that is Bhagavad Dharma, or the religion which teaches to worship the Supreme Personality of God and no one else. The verse again. Raja stama prakitaya samasila bhajanti vai pitribhute prayasadin shriyaisvaya prajapsava. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance worship the forefathers and all living beings and the demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities, for they are urged by a desire to be materially benefited by women, wealth, power, and fortune. Omajana Timandasya Shansa Shlaka Sakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptam Yena Bhutale Svyam Rupakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Pandiyam Shiyuda Padkam Lam Shigam Vaishnavam Shashyarupam Zagajatam Saganaragnatam Pitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sakanalita Shivashakam Vitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jyatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Garanki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhana Sutadevi Pranama Mahari Priye Pankha Kalpa Vishaki Pasani Vivasha Patnam Pavan Vyo Vaishnava Yo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Kacharani Nirvashesha Srinivadi Paskachari Dezatani. Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya. He said, Na Danam Na Jam Na Sundarim Kavita Vasri Sakamayi Mama Chamani Chamamish Fre Bhavata Bhakti Ahaituki Tvayi. Oh Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So Lord Chaitanya, he says, the only thing I want is serving birth after birth. He has even no desire for liberation. Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna, who came in the form of his own devotee to show us how to practice the pure devotional service. These material desires are obstacles on the path of devotional service. Raga and Vesha, attachment. Aversion is also attachment, but negative, but it's about attachment. That's if one has desire for wealth and to enjoy, then pure devotional service is not possible. In the Bhagavad Gita is said that those who worship the demigods they are Ritajan. They are less intelligent. In the beginning of the second canto, there in the second chapter, I think, in the beginning, there's a whole list of demigods and what benefits they can bestow. And those who have that knowledge, they can worship these demigods and get that benefit, that and can attain it. So that's, but a devotee is not at all interested in that. That they only want is causeless devotional service, birth and after birth. And the demigods, they are devotees, but they are sakam devotees. Sakam means they have still material desires. Not the gross material desires like us, but subtle, bright distinction that we see many times, or that Indra became very puffed up, and Krishna showed him lessons that by lifting Govardhan, and Indra was arranging from the Sarvataka clouds of devastation to come and destroy Vrindavan. That because why Indra was envious and proud. That the same happened when Krishna went with Satyabhama to the heavenly planets. I think Satyabhama wanted shopping and to shop in the heavenly planets. And they said to Krishna, you gave a parijata flower to Rukmini, can you also give me one? Oh, Krishna said, we are in the heavenly planets here. Why not taking a whole tree? And so, and Krishna took a parijata tree from the heavenly planets, and immediately Indra came. Oh, this is my tree. You cannot take it. And there was a fight. But everything belongs to Krishna. That's a fact. And from the moment we have material desires, we want to enjoy something which belongs to Krishna and is meant for his enjoyment. And that's called envy. So, in fact, only devotees of Krishna are not envious. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, "Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim." So the devotees, the devotees of Krishna will worship Krishna just out of love, no other desire. They are not envious. And only the devotees of Krishna can be non-envious. All the other kind of transcendentalists, they are envious. The impersonalists who want to merge with the absolute truth and become God. That's quite an envy, that they want the power of God. They think they can obtain that, which is an illusion. That the yogis want mystic powers so that they can control the whole situation. That they feel themselves as God also. That yes, and those who want liberation, yes, they want to be free from the material suffering. That's also material desire, because the suffering is material. So That is for us important. We have studied just in Nectar of Devotion the purity of devotional service. What is that purity? What are the elements of that purity that we have discussed? We have said, yes, pure devotional service, ahaita kriyapatiyata, just to please Krishna, without any material desire. Without we have to avoid two witches. Rupa Goswami said, bhakti, mukti, trying to enjoy and the desire for liberation. That apatiyata, and always no interruption. If there is interruption, you are engaged in envious activities. So we should never interrupt, because then interrupting means not Krishna conscious, means conscious of the material body. So that principle, Krishna is the enjoyer, Bhaktam, Jagatapasam, Sarvlogmayashvam, Sudam, Sarvabhutam, Katvam, Santimricham. That's important always to remember. Krishna is the enjoyer because he's a proprietor of everything. It's not that we cannot enjoy, but we are secondary enjoyers. And in Sriyas Upanishad, you have this Isavasya principle. The Isavasya principle is that Isa, the Supreme Lord, is a controller and the proprietor of everything. And therein it is explained that we have the right for our quota, but we should not try to enjoy the quota of others, knowing well to whom they belong. So everyone, the maintenance of all living entities is arranged that in normal situations there is this abundance of food. Scarcity is created artificially, just by economy. That 60% of all the wealth of the world is controlled for the moment by 350 people who take more than their quota. That's capitalism. Yes, and that causes this artificial scarcity. And trying to enjoy. Yes, it is said that if you take the budget only for Europe, that is spent to cosmetics, because the body goes backwards and so on, and they want to always look young and artificially pump it up. The money that's spent on cosmetics only in Europe, you can feed the whole world. So these are figures, and that's all the cause is all envy for Krishna. But no one can imitate Krishna. So Krishna consciousness means becoming non-envious. That those who are envious, they take to the worship of the demigods, but the demigods can give them only temporary benefits. Because Hiranyakasipu, he asked Lord Brahma, please give me immortality, and Lord Brahma said, I cannot give you, I'm not immortal myself. Ask something else. And then he tried to get the same thing by different benedictions, but it didn't work out, this plan. So material plans do not work out. That we learn from the Bhagavatam that yes, if one strives for happiness in this world, but there's also distress. It's going together. It's always mixed. That so, but one can say yes, but I've still material desires. That what do I do? That I'm not on the level of pure devotion. Well, the point is we should do our best to come to that level. And it doesn't matter much. Krishna, it said in the Bhagavatam that akama sarvakama va moksakama udarati tivrina bhaktiyorita cheta purusham param. A person who is broader intelligence, udarati, whether he be full of material desires, sarvakama, is sarvakama or is akama, or without any material desire, or moksakama, desiring liberation. Doesn't matter. One must by all means worship the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. Tivrena bhaktiyoga. Tivrena means with great force. With great force, worship the Supreme Lord. That so life means there is desire. One where there's no desire, no life. A stone can have no desire. But being alive means desires. But what's the point? You have to give up fruitive desires. But by engaging in devotional service, even if we have material desires, we will become purified from that. That's the process to get rid of these material desires. It's the means and the goal in Bhakti Yoga is the same, means and the goal. Practicing devotional service and attaining devotional service is the same. But the purity of devotional service will become pure, pure, and pure. That therefore, yes, we must first know Krishna is the object of knowledge. That as long as our minds are fixed on Krishna, then we are becoming purified. Because Krishna in the mind, that's the material detox. That material desire shall go away. That so it's important, indirectly or directly, fix your mind on Krishna. Indirectly means I'm doing things for Krishna. That so that is what we can learn from this verse. So Srila Prabhupada in the purpose speaks about the motto of life. One should work hard and worship the Supreme Lord by the fruits of one's hard labor for existence. That should be the motto of life. So one that yes, the worship, one should use everything of one's work for the worship of the Supreme Lord. That so Then Srila Prabhupada speaks about the residents of Vraj. There, to worship by their business and to have faith in God. So that firm faith in the Supreme Lord develops at the platform of Nishta. And at that platform, firm faith is established. That is technically the platform of liberation. That then all doubts are gone. And then we can act with that spirit of having complete faith in the Supreme Lord. That faith is we can measure our spiritual advancement by our faith in Krishna. That worshipping the multi-demigods for material gain is practically a perversity of religion. It's true that you see the Vrajavasis in Vrindavan, they also worship demigods. How is that? Yes, they are offering respect to the demigods, but they have always the understanding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they may approach the demigods and offer them respect in that sense, and asking them blessings to advance in devotional service to Krishna. But a devotee never worships demigods. Never. He gives them respect. Because he knows his only worshipful Lord is the Supreme Lord. Bhakti is only meant for Krishna. There is no kind of something like that of bhakti for the demigod. No, that does not exist. Bhakti is for Krishna. If one has not that understanding and becomes devoted to demigods, then the Bhagavatam says that kaitava dharma. Because if one is devoted to demigods, one remains in this material world, birth and death. And the fruits you get from the demigod are temporary. And it will not give you internal peace. If one wants to be internally peaceful, then one must give up the attachment to these fruitive activities. But to attain that, these material desires must disappear. That Dora Jastamova Kamalapsa Sayasi Esitera Teranavtan Stitvi Satvi Prashidati. That by performing devotional service, the influence of passion and ignorance is completely destroyed, and one comes to goodness. That in goodness one can understand I'm not a body. Why should I worship demigods to get benefits for the body? The benefits are temporary, the body is temporary. We want eternal things, so it's cheating. So that is, one who performs Bhagavatarma, which teaches to worship the Supreme Lord, he understands that. And so the demigod worshippers are misinformed. And that's why? Because they do not understand Krishna's position. And Krishna's position is explained in the next verse, which has a long purport. This verse explains how Krishna is the ultimate object of knowledge of all yoga practices. How Krishna is the source of even the fulfillment of material desires. Because it's not the demigods who give that. It's Krishna who fulfills the desires, the material desires of the people in this world. But through the demigods have no power to give any material benediction. But they give the benediction, and Krishna empowers them. But worship of the demigods is meant for Krishna. It's a cheating system. Good, we will stop here. Any question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Very nice class.
Hare Krishna.
I just had a question, kid. You said that we need to come to the stage of nishta, so faith, but it seems like it's explained in the Gita that we can only give up lower taste by experiencing higher taste. So how can we pass anartha nivritti without getting some ruchi, some sort of taste, which is supposed to be after nishta?
That the ruchi stage is undeviated attraction to Krishna. That means one with a ruchi taste has so much taste that one cannot forget Krishna for a moment. But that's the perfection of taste. So one must be after liberation to get that, because only when one is on liberation can one fix can one fix one's mind on Krishna constantly. But to come to that level, you must practice. We forget sometimes Krishna, sometimes we think of Krishna. You must practice. And the more you think of Krishna, the more you will become purified in anartha nivritti. But but for this, our taste has to increase. And taste comes from two things, Krishna says. That the first is hearing with attention. If you hear with attention, care and attention the scriptures, that's the first thing. My Guru Maharaj, he instructed us all, before the Bhagavatam class, you should the day before memorize the verse of the Bhagavatam class for the next morning. Memorize it. The purpose is that is to memorize it, to register it in our memory. And to register it in our memory, we must hear with great attention. But because we cannot hear with great attention, we cannot register it. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is serving the Mahatma, the mission of the spiritual master. And the combination of these two gives taste. We must do these two things. And then healthy taste develops. And when taste has come to fruition, after nishta means I'm able to always fix my mind on Krishna. Then quickly the taste increases, practically unlimitedly. And then one becomes attracted. This ruchi comes, and that leads to ashakti. One, like iron, is attracted to a magnet. So the process of Krishna consciousness is a process of developing this high taste. It's a process that takes time. But if one does it with care and attention, it will develop. Does that help?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Something else? Good, then This evening we have the Nectar of Devotion class that we will discuss chapter 6 and 7. It will become really practical now. We go into the 64 items of devotional service. Very interesting point. So I'm looking forward to see you this evening. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada. Hare Bol.
Jai Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Bol. Jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Bol.